Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is more complex shapes. So the first one here is, what if I want to find the perimeter of a triangle, alright, where it's not a right triangle, and I don't know the height, right? The height was not given to me. Well, the only way to do it is there's actually another formula that you have. This formula is provided for you on the formula sheet, so we have to use another formula. Perimeter you don't. Perimeter is just, then you add up all the sides and you've got the perimeter. Area is a little more complex. So what we have to do for Huron's formula, when you know all three sides of a triangle, you don't know the height, so we can't use the 1/2 base times height, and it's not a right triangle. Alright, again, because again, the right triangle would have a height. What you have to do is you have to find the semi-perimeter, and then use this formula. Alright, so we're going to do it with this first example. First thing we're going to do is find the perimeter. So the perimeter is just 9 plus 9 plus 13, so the perimeter comes out to be 31 feet. Alright, we actually need that in order to do the Huron calculation for area, because what we have to find is this capital S, which is half the perimeter. It's called the semi-perimeter. And so we take our perimeter, which is 31, divide by 2, and so that comes out to be 15.5, and that's the capital S part of the formula. The other part of the formula are the sides. So you can call whatever you want, and I'll call this side A, I'll call this side B, and I'll call this side C. And then you just carefully fill out your formula, making sure when you do fill out the formula and you are simplifying this on your calculator, do not round until the end. We don't round any of our problems until the very end. So, grab my 0.5. It's 15.5 times 15.5 minus one of our sides, so 9, 15.5 minus another 9, and then the last one, 15.5 minus 13. So I'm actually going to simplify the subtraction because I actually think it's easier to do that. So it's 15.5 times 6.5 times another 6.5, and then the last one is a 2.5. And at this point, if you wanted to, you could plug that in your calculator. Just make sure you're careful. All of those multiplications are underneath the square root, and do not round until the very end. Or you can simplify underneath the root first, do the multiplication first. And when you do the multiplication, it's the square root of 1,637. Don't round, so write out the decimal, which is 1,875. And then you can take the square root of that, which you get your final answer is 40.46 feet. So remember, do not round, no rounding until the end. Alright, no rounding until the end. Alright, so let's do another example of the Heron's formula. So we're going to use the same formula, just on it. Again, I've given a triangle. It's not a right triangle. We don't know the height, right? The height's not given to us. We know the sides. And so we're going to use Huron's formula to find area. Perimeter, again, like I said, is pretty easy. You just add up the sides. So it's 16 plus 15 plus 19. So our perimeter is 50 inches. And then we find our semi-perimeter. So we take the 50, divide by 2. This one comes out a little nicer. It's 25 inches. Not that I need to know that it's inches, but it is. Alright, so our S in our formula is 25. And so to find area, you take your square root of 25 times the subtraction of that from the 25. So 25 minus 16, 25 minus 15, 25 minus 19, all of that's under the root. So again, what I prefer to do is simplify and then use my calculator. So 25 times, oops, I wrote 29. 25 times 9 times 10 times 6. And then again, I like to simplify inside. So this one actually comes out nicer than the other one. This is 13500. Then you take the square root of the 13500, and now you round. But again, do not round it to the end of the problem. It comes out 116.19, and again, it's in inches squared. Alright, so that's using Huron's formula. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the perimeter of complex shapes. I'm going to do the first example, and then I'll do the next example. It's actually going to be in my next video. Alright, the first thing you need to do is you kind of find the missing pieces of the side first, right? Because the perimeter is easiest. I have to find the sum of all my sides, and then we'll get to the area. And the area, you sort of have to figure out what are all the shapes that are here. Alright, so first, missing sides. I'm missing this piece, and I'm missing this piece. So if I use sort of what I have, so if I cut across there, I know that this is 2, so that means this would have been 2. If that's 2, and I know this whole side has to add up to 5, well, this part has to be 3, which means the one directly across of it also has to be 3 feet. And then same idea here, right? I need to know this part. I know the one across from it's 6. I know the one down here is 3, which means this would have been 3. And this would have been 3, so 3 feet. So my 2 missing sides were both 3 feet. I'm going to erase the stuff in the middle because I don't need that. And so I found my 2 missing sides, so my perimeters, just add those up. 5 plus 6 plus 2, and then there are three sides. There's this 3, and there's the 2 sides that I found. So 3 plus a 3 plus another 3. So that adds up to be 22. 22 feet is my perimeter. Alright, so the perimeter, first thing you do to find the perimeter is find the missing pieces of the sides. Alright, now there's a couple ways you can go with this. It just depends on how you want to split the figure. You're going to split it into 2 rectangles. Alright, so I'm going to split it this way. Alright, so this is how I'm going to split it. So I get, in order to find my area, it's going to be rectangle 1 plus rectangle 2. I'm going to say this is my rectangle 1, this is my rectangle 2. And so if I pull out my first rectangle, it is 2 by 6, right? It's a 2 over here, and then 6. And then my other rectangle is a smaller one there. It's actually a square, right? It's both sides are 3 by 3. And so when I find the area, I'm going to find the area of 2 rectangles, which remember, area of a rectangle is length times width. In this case, the first rectangle's length is 6. Then the width is 2, so 6 times 2. And the other one, both the length and the width are 3, so 3 times 3. And so area is 12 plus 9, which comes out to be 21 feet squared. You could have, if you wanted to, have split it the other way. So again, if you were looking at this and you split it like this, in that case, your rectangle would have been, one would have been 5 by 3. And the other would have been 3 by 2. It should have given you the same thing, because 5 by 3 gives you an area of 15, and 3 by 2 gives you an area of 6. 15 plus 6 still adds up to 21. So you can do it either way. You just figure out which way is the best way for you. All right, you solve it the way you want to solve it. All right, I'm actually going to stop there and pick up the next one in the next video.